Amy Coney Barrett confirmed and sworn in to the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Hunter Biden's emails, laptop, showing like it's being confirmed that it's authentic and real, and more of the shit that goes around with that. And also, next week is the election. All right, who's going to win it? And all that on this episode of the Sweet Loose Special. All right, I just want to start off by saying thank you to everyone that's been following on the Facebook page, been getting involved, commenting on the pictures. I know we've been putting out as much stuff as we can, daily funny memes, also the updates on everything that's been going on in politics on the conservative side, and all the bullshit that the Democrats have been coming up with here lately. So let's start off this episode with ACB. All right, Amy Coney Barrett. Now, for everyone out there, should know by now that she has been sworn in, confirmed, voted by the Senate, brought in, everything, all the goodies, bells and whistles. Boom, she is in 100% as of Monday night. Okay, she takes the seat of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who has served on the Supreme Court since 93, and has taken her seat. Obviously, brought in a fresh, new face, new perspective. There's been this big thing about originalism that she believes in, and all this and that throughout the questioning. Now, the questioning throughout the Senate, I didn't follow it too much because I know it was going to be the same bullshit show. Just, they didn't have anything on her, not like they tried to pull with Justice Kavanaugh, excuse me. But, you know, they wanted to throw her under the bus about her religion, her faith, her family, and what, you know, believe in, blah, blah, blah. And try to corner her on this shit about, oh, you know, how would you, handle this case if it was brought up to the Supreme Court? Which, for those of you that didn't know, it came up that they cannot ask those kind of questions, nor does she have any obligation to answer questions about any kind of case that is not in front of her or in front of the Supreme Court without being in that position. It was called the Ginsburg Rule, ironically put in place when Ginsburg was voted in and confirmed into the Supreme Court in the early 90s. The rule was brought up by Senator Joe Biden at the time. Okay, so let's get started with her. Gets confirmed, sworn in, 100% in it as of Monday night. Okay, sworn in by Justice Thomas. And of course, everyone is blowing up about this because for some reason there is this belief that Trump nominates a woman to be put into the Supreme Court, that this woman is going to take away everyone's rights, is going to destroy everyone's health care, is going to just, I don't know. It's just this phenomenal belief that the left has that she is going to destroy the entire country. Now, let me get this straight for everyone, okay? She is to interpret policy. She is not going to be responsible for creating any policy at all, okay? That's not the role of a Supreme Court justice. Her job is to interpret the Constitution of the United States, and when a case is brought to them, they judge whether it's constitutional or not, whether there's any legal standing, whether it needs to be overturned, whatever. She does not create policy. So everyone's freaking out over this dumb shit, and it's just mind-boggling, okay? Vox, they claimed, which I follow Vox just so I can get my blood pressure high, because 99% of the shit that they put out as articles, they spew out either the same shit over and over again, but it's fear-mongering bullshit. But Vox claims that the Republicans had pushed the vote prior to her confirmation behind the Democrat senators' backs. There was an article that they put out saying, oh, the Democrat senators were not even present when the Republican senators had voted to push this to the confirmation. First of all, of course, it's misleading because, like I said, the fear-mongering bullshit that they like to deal in. But, however, the truth behind that is that the Democrats, from the very beginning, have been against this 110%. My belief, not based on who Amy Coney Barrett is, but definitely because Trump nominated her. If it was anyone else under the moon, under the sun, especially if it was a Democrat president, then they would have been all 100% for it. Anyways, again, a complete shit show during the interrogation from the Dems about the Senate questioning. But yeah, so the Democrats have been boycotting. They boycotted. They didn't even want to show up. They want to give their symbolism of, I'm not standing for this because she's going to destroy the health care, she's going to destroy women's rights, LGBTQ rights, blah blah blah. So again, take everything that you see out there. It's from really both sides sometimes, mostly on the left mainstream media, especially Vox, places like Politico, the Wall Street Journal, sometimes New York Times. 100% of the time, you basically got to take it with a grain of salt because they clickbaity bullshit that they want to get you in and think, oh, well, they did it behind the Democrats' backs. No, that wasn't the case at all. Okay. Mainstream media continues to complain that the senators who voted against the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett, they brought up that those that voted against the Democrat senators represent 13 million more constituents than the 52 senators on the Republican side that voted to confirm Amy Coney Barrett. Now, again, every time I hear this argument of, the senators represent more people than these other senators. Why is there only 2 senators per state? Like, why does California have the same amount of senators as Wyoming when they're clearly disproportionately different on population numbers? Well, again, dumbass, it's because there is a House of Representatives that represent the people of the United States based on districts that are based by the population of the state. Right? So California has more representatives from the House of Representatives than the state of Wyoming, right? But of course you can't bring that up because they don't know shit about what they're talking about. But my God, the liberal meltdown of Amy Coney Barrett being put into the Supreme Court has been phenomenal. All right, I got a couple clips for you guys. But the biggest thing that came out this morning, or as a Tuesday morning, tweets from the old infamous squad. The biggest ones were expand the court. Expand the court. Now, I want to show you these tweets that have been brought out. We're going to read them all together. AOC, expand the court. Now, let's sit on that for a moment, all right? Because during this entire election year, there has been a lot of hearsay, a lot of claiming that the Democrats have been wanting to court pack the Supreme Court, which is basically adding seats to the Supreme Court. Now, currently there's 9, obviously, that is directed under the Constitution of the United States. But because the Democrats feel like they've been cheated, like basically because they lost, right? Because of this unpredicted moment that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had passed away to give Trump the opportunity to fill that seat, a third seat in his term, in his first term. That they want to expand the court. They want a court pack. They want to add 4 seats to it. They want to add 2 seats to it so that they can put Democrat or more left-wing judges in there. Now, it goes to my belief that this belief that a judge is left-wing, right-wing. Yes, each person has their own political beliefs, has their own judgments, their own idea and representation and interpretation of what the law is. And do I think a judge should be looked at as someone that is conservative and liberal when in reality their job should be impartial and fair? I don't get the entire thing is that Democrats, they know that if they want to put in someone that was going to probably bend the law a little bit, bend the interpretation, but they just because they lost this, now they want to add more seats so that they can have the opportunity to add more left-leaning judges to that court. That's what it's all about. Here's some more tweets from our ever-loving Democratic representatives in Congress. AOC continues on, Republicans do this because they don't believe Dems have the stones to play hardball like they do, and for a long time they've been correct. But do not let them bully the public into thinking their bulldozing is normal, but a response isn't. There is a legal process for expansion. Of course, here's Nancy Pelosi saying President Trump and Senate Republicans have committed an act of supreme desperation, jamming through a Supreme Court nominee just 8 days before Election Day as part of their years-long campaign to destroy Americans' health care. Again, more fear-mongering bullshit. That is not the case. Ilhan Omar, expand the court. Of course. And again, Ilhan Omar remembering that Republicans have lost 6 of the last 7 popular votes, but have appointed 6 of the last 9 justices. By expanding the court, we fix this broken system and have the court better represent the values of the American people. What? Kamala Harris, our ever-loving VP nominee, instead of working to provide COVID-19 relief to struggling Americans, Mitch McConnell and Republicans chose to jam through a Supreme Court nominee when more than 62 million people have already voted. It's despicable, and they must be held accountable. Joe Biden, Beijing Biden, the rushed and unprecedented confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett as Associate Justice to the Supreme Court in the middle of an ongoing election should be a stark reminder to every American that your vote matters. Rashida Tlaib, Hillary Clinton, Ayanna Pressley all have the, this is a good one, we reject this injustice. We will fight for our rights. We will legislate our values. Ayanna Pressley. Yeah. As you see, more bullshit from the left. Again, the one thing that I would like to say on this, my little 2 cents, is that, okay, let's say we do this entire court packing and expand the courts, adding seats, adding states, like make Puerto Rico that state. That way we can add more Democrat senators in there. Well, think about it this way. You're looking at it as, how's it going to benefit the Democrats, right? Well, that pendulum can swing the other way real easy. So you got 13 seats there on the Supreme Court. Well, what if 9 of them become Republican-appointed justices? So, again, I don't understand, why they want to expand it, why they want to add seats. Well, I do understand. It's because they kind of want to have someone, cheat the system for them, I guess. I don't know. How these career politicians think that by putting a Democrat or a left-leaning justice on the Supreme Court is going to create any policy. Again, they don't create policy. They interpret the Constitution and ensure that when there's disputes between states and individuals, vice versa, local governments, state governments, federal government, and the state, whatever it is, that they sit down and they're going to be the neutral party that determines whether this law or policy is constitutional. All right? In no way, shape, or form are they going to be taking away your rights. Now, we'll continue that. But first, I wanted to show you these clips of these liberal left-wing meltdowns, people crying. First, we're going to start off with Senator, I believe. Yeah, so we got Senator Hirono here on this first clip, basically coming up during the vote and saying, hell no, and putting her thumb down and then storming off, just getting into the face. Really fucking weird. Here.
Mrs. Shaheen, Mr. Shelby, Ms. Sinema, Ms. Smith, Ms. Stabenow. Mr. Sullivan.
Aye. All right, so Again, crazy. I don't get it. Okay, and so we're going to show you a clip of one woman in her bathroom basically complaining about getting a notification on her phone that Amy Coney Barrett had been confirmed and sworn in as the Supreme Court Justice. And it's quite hilarious. Here we go to clip 2.
Don't mind me, I'm in the bath, but while I'm in here, I got a notification that Amy Coney Barrett was officially confirmed to the Supreme Court. I didn't think I would be this affected by it, but I'm scared. I'm scared for me, other women, people who need help, everyone except white men. So, please vote next week. Let's try to do something.
All right. So, again, to end this part off about Amy Coney Barrett, let me get this straight and let me tell you, okay, everyone out there that is listening, left, right, middle, whatever, no one is out to take your health care. No one is out to take away your rights. Whoever you are, male, female, A10 Warhog, whatever the fuck you identify as, or whatever sexual orientation, or sexual preference, which that's a questionable term now that they changed the dictionary definition of. Whoever you are, if you're an American, no one is taking away your rights. All right? Left, right, everyone in between, up, down, no one is going to take away your health care. No one is going to take away women's rights. No one's going to take away LGBTQ rights. Okay? I don't know. There becomes this chant that the left keeps just drumming away that they're going to take our rights. They're going to, accept white men, straight white men, they're not taking away, they're going to take away women's rights. They're going to take away our health care. What the hell? What rights? What you think that Amy Coney Barrett is literally going to spearhead the drive to take away LGBTQ people's rights to speak freely away from them? You think she's going to take away gay people's rights to bear arms or to vote from women? Get the hell out of here. Again, they say this chant. They're taking away what rights? What rights do you think that she is going to take away? What rights do you think that she has the capability of taking away from you? None, because it's not going to fucking happen. That's why, okay? Because they want you to believe, oh my God, this woman is going to take away people's rights, women's rights to vote is not going to happen. They're going to put people in cages. Oh my God. No, it's not going to happen, okay? Because, again, the left, they love and they stand on this platform of fear-mongering, trying to chant, trying to preach to you that the right is going to come in and Gestapo and they're fascists and they're Nazis and same communist tactics of calling everyone fascist, but no one is taking away your rights. Okay, good. Now, very good, interesting stories that have been coming out lately. All right, is Hunter Biden and his laptop controversy that has been coming out. Okay, so to kind of put it into a nutshell of how this entire thing started back last year, either 2018 or 2019, Hunter Biden had taken his laptop into a computer repair store somewhere in Delaware and had not paid for his services, and essentially the laptop stayed there. So the owner of the store had gone through the laptop and found some very interesting material on there. Emails that have been exchanged through the former CEO or the CEO of Burisma or someone that's been, a high-ranking person in Burisma. Between him and Hunter Biden, and also allegedly claims that the big man that that Joe Biden had known about his activity in Ukraine and actually had been receiving some kind of payoffs, that kind of hush money on, don't mention the name of, Joe Biden in the emails. They gave him code names. Or, one of them definitely was like the big guy. Either way. And so this is how it all started. So it got sent to the FBI. And so these laptops had been reported to the FBI about possible information on there that could be incriminating towards Hunter Biden and towards Joe Biden. And also, Rudy Giuliani, who's Trump's personal lawyer, had gotten his hands on this information on this hard drive and been able to help inform and educate the people of the United States about all of Hunter Biden's wrongdoings over there. Okay? So, as I've said probably many times before on my show, what started this entire thing about Hunter Biden in Ukraine? Okay? Because the left has been saying that, it's fake, oh, Joe Biden didn't receive any money, it's Russian disinformation, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's go with this. The fact of the matter is this. Hunter Biden was on the board of Burisma. Burisma, a gas and oil company there in Ukraine. Very prominent. For those of you who don't know, they've been in the Eastern Europe, many parts of Europe. Natural gas is the primary source of like heat for homes, flats, apartments, stuff like that. And ever since the war, the price of natural gas has skyrocketed in Eastern Europe. Anyway, fact, right? So we all know that Hunter Biden was on this board, receiving stacks of cash, allegedly $50,000 a month. Other reports claim, much more than that. Whatever, the amount doesn't even matter, even if he was receiving one goddamn dollar. All right? Because him being on that board while his father was vice president and while the State Department was pushing Ukraine into joining the EU after Poroshenko had been elected president, it gives the perception of corruption. And you kind of don't want to have that as a political figure or public figure. But I digress. Hunter Biden was still making good money on there. He was on that board for a couple years. And so my point is this, and I'm surprised that any mainstream media or any kind of media outlet, left or right, has not been connecting these dots together. Okay, as I have been out to that country before, pre-war and while the war was happening, is this. It seems that it's too convenient that while in 2013, while there was an elections going on in Ukraine, they claimed that the previous president was illegitimate, that he fraudulently got the votes in there, and that they were having another election. And Poroshenko, this owner of a big time chocolate company that was called Roshan, had won presidency and became the president of Ukraine. Right, so shortly thereafter, Ukraine gets pushed by the State Department of the United States and the Obama administration to join the EU as kind of a retaliatory thing against Russia. Now, Ukraine receives a lot of their imports and exports and a lot of necessary goods from Russia. So when they got pushed into the EU, it started a conflict in the east, in Donetsk. And the conflict is still going on. Basically started a war, right? Well, the economy of Ukraine completely crashes. I mean, it was like 8 hryvnia to $1 when I was first there. Then it goes to 23. I mean, it like triples. Yeah, basically it tripled. And the currency went down, but the price of natural gas had gone up. Now it seemed, like I said, too convenient that when this war happens, what do wars need? Right? They need fuel, air, supply, gas, air. What did I say? Whatever the hell. But they need all the supplies, right? So I'm pretty sure that Burisma was making big bank out of supplying the war effort for Ukraine. Or it could be vice versa, even for Russia, but I doubt that. Probably receiving, but hey, we were sending millions of dollars over there to Ukraine. Wasn't there also an impeachment because we were talking about sending $400 million plus over to Ukraine and that money was just held back? Kind of a quid pro quo as we talked about for goddamn so many months. Anyway, so what's to say that those millions of dollars of taxpayer money that was sent over there to support the Ukrainians in this proxy war of Russian separatists that are being supplied by Russia, were not being put into the pocket of, like, Burisma, that's supplying them with natural gas or in petroleum, which is also in turn being put into the pocket of Hunter Biden, which is allegedly, from what we gather so far in the emails and the information, was put into a trust for the big man, which is Joe Biden. So that's where I have the problem with it. So that's why we should all be pissed off about this. And this is why this should be a very serious breaking news story that everyone needs to know. The Obama administration had pushed Ukraine into this war to join the European Union, causing conflict into the east. Burisma supplies the war. Ukraine receives taxpayer funds. Burisma pays Hunter Biden. Now, isn't that a big conflict of interest? It's so funny that the man that was in charge of the foreign relations of Ukraine and China happened to be Joe Biden, and yet his family was benefiting off of the war, suffering, and the entire country's economy crashed. And he's getting the pocket. His family gets to pocket the money. And I'm going off of what all these alleged reports are, but I probably believe, I do believe that Joe Biden was benefiting from this monetarily, okay? Because all the arrows pointing out, I don't believe in consequences. I don't believe in coincidences, excuse me. Because this was all for a purpose, for him to get money, okay? He used his position to help his son get into a position on Burisma. Can't even speak Russian or Ukrainian. Knows nothing about the industry. Those are facts. Now, when this laptop and this hard drive came out, immediately the left went to their old classic tactic. Russian collusion bullshit that they started off a couple years ago. Now they're saying Russian disinformation. Great. A new coined term that just pulled right out of their asses. Yet, there is still yet to be any evidence that proves contrary that this is Russian disinformation. As a matter of fact, what the head of intelligence at the White House, had said that this was not, or more likely, and it has already been confirmed that it's not Russian disinformation. You even have Representative Jim Jordan, who claims that with his staff, that he and his staff independently authenticated the Biden emails to be true. So, again, I haven't gotten to see the entire email, all the proof, or the evidence involved on the emails. I'm sure they're out there. I don't know if they've been released to the public. But one thing that did get released to the public, which makes things very, very interesting and very, very funny, as most of you probably know that follow my page on Facebook, that we've been making fun of, was Hunter Biden's sex tapes revealed. All right, and also some very intriguing photos of old Hunter Biden wrapped up in his blanket with his crack pipe still in his mouth. I wonder who took that picture. That person should come out on social media and to the news and be like, yeah, that was me. Because that should be on the cover of Time magazine. But, yes, so these pictures of Hunter Biden with his shirt off, taking a selfie in the mirror, looking like Billy Badass, blowing all of his millions of dollars that he got from China and from Ukraine, probably, again, our taxpayers' dollars probably went into his pocket so that he can blow it on cocaine and strippers. Because for one thing, I'll tell you this, and I really don't care. I believe Hunter Biden is nothing but a fucking shitbag. Okay? One thing that is true is that he was, you know, fucking his dead brother's wife. Yes, that is true. He was dating and sploinking his dead brother's ex-wife, Bo Biden's widow. Okay, and if you do that, I think you're a fucking dirtbag. Um, not only that, but his like major crack addiction. What was it like in 2009, 2010, whatever fucking year it was? He was kicked out of the Navy for cocaine use. He was barely in for 1 year as an ensign. Wow, so awesome. And so you got more of these videos of him getting a foot job by some prostitute. I'm guessing that's who it was. Again, if that she wasn't a prostitute, then my apologies. But of course, the big thing is that we are not allowed to share this kind of information. We're not allowed to link it on social media because definitely these social media outlets like Facebook, Twitter are left-leaning, ironically, because, you know, the left is so against billionaires. But anyway, I digress. We were not allowed to share the New York Times post. The New York Post breaking story of the Hunter Biden emails and the laptop at all. Okay, that was so controversial last week because, you know, the internet is supposed to be a place where we're supposed to freely get information, right? You're able to talk shit on there to no limit to each other, say bad, terrible fucking things, but yet you can't share this one New York Post article. People were getting banned. The press secretary got her Twitter account suspended for a short period of time. But I guess Jack Dorsey had come out and said, "Oh, you know, that was a bad fucking shouldn't have, edited or limited people's viewing of sharing or that information about the New York Post article." Anyway, still fucking stupid because we've been knowing this for a while now. Ever since Trump came in and really stirred the pot here on the political system, that conservative speech has been targeted by mainstream leftist media, social media. It's hard for us to get our voice out. It's hard for us to share it. Like, we can't share a news article, a fucking news article, because they said that, it was probably hacked information. Hacked information. He didn't give consent about it. Most of the shit that you find in public, there was nothing wrong or illegal in the way that this evidence or this laptop was handled or the information on that laptop was distributed. Not any way was it illegal. It was all fair game. He didn't pick up his shit. I mean, anyway, we all know that, you know, my page has been getting hit. Hell, I've been getting fact check over memes lately. I had a 50 Cent meme that had like 50 Cent's face with the Trump hair on there, and I got fact checked on it. My page got a ding. Ugh, typical. Anyway, I think they reversed that, but still, it becomes really, really, really difficult for conservative views to be published out there. One thing that was kind of ironic, really funny in my opinion, was that they came out that, I quote, "Can I change my vote?" All right, had trended on Google after the Hunter Biden sex tapes have been coming out. So I don't know if that's like a meaning as in, oh, we voted for Biden and we want to switch it for Trump or third party. I don't know what it is, but I guess it really trended there on the Sunday night because Sunday was pretty crazy with these sex tape and these damn pictures, man. I mean, he was like, where I even got dinged on the page for one of the pictures of him in a jockstrap. I even edited the butt crack out. Or I didn't. I got the picture with the edited butt crack out. But, it was sexual content, you know. And so, again, my page is getting threatened to be delisted because of the dumb shit that I'm not even violating. But of course they want to target. So that was kind of funny. Now, last part of the show we're going to go over is the election. All right, cool. Everyone knows. Everyone should know. Next Tuesday, November 3rd, right? It's on Tuesday. Make sure I'm not sounding stupid. Yep, Tuesday. Next week is the presidential election, right? Joe Biden against President Donald J. Trump, right? Now, I've been saying this even before this whole pre-COVID thing, which I'm glad I'm back. A lot of crazy shit happened here in the Lewis household. And so I haven't been making the videos for a little bit. So probably February was my last one, so they were still doing the primaries. I said from the very beginning that Joe Biden was going to win the Democratic nomination. A lot of people at first are believing that it was going to be, Bernie Sanders. Oh, I knew right away. A lot of people knew right away that the DNC was going to fuck Bernie Sanders out of the nomination yet again. But I had that feeling that Joe Biden was going to get it, and I was right. So that part I kind of want to gloat about because, being right feels good. Being right feels awesome. And I was correct. Which is unfortunate, I guess, in a way. Maybe why was he nominated by the DNC? The DNC know that there was no way that Trump was going to lose this? Why would they pick someone as so incompetent, so cognitively declining as Joe Biden to become the presidential nominee? Someone that thinks that he's running against George Bush. Which the other day he was like something about misspoke about Trump being George. Then in his fucking mind did he think he was going up against George Bush? A lot of funny shit has been coming out. All right, the past year during the entire primaries, Joe Biden is talking about corn pop and Joe Biden, the thing, given to people that the thing. And I mean, we can go on for hours talking about and just making fun and creating all these clips. You can find them on the internet. It's out there. You got every right-wing commentator out there is going to be making fun of it, and I like to take part in it too because this shit just how in the name of fuck does he become the nominee for the Democratic Party? Has so many other great qualified people. Even as a Republican myself, I actually like Tulsi Gabbard a lot. I listened to her on the JRE. I thought she was very well collected, very, very intelligent. For a Democrat, I personally have no issues. I like Tulsi Gabbard a lot. In my opinion, I think she's probably going to be a Republican in 10 years. But, hey, I might be wrong, but that's just my guess. But she really stirred the shit pot on that one, going after Kamala Harris, which we will get to here in a moment. And Kamala Harris would go, and obviously Tulsi Gabbard's attack against Hillary Clinton was just hilarious. But obviously she didn't win the nomination. Neither did Pete Buttigieg or when it came down to Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. What was it? Super Tuesday didn't like Bernie Sanders. No, it was before Super Tuesday. Bernie Sanders had won Vermont, had won a couple states, and then it started looking like he was going to win the nomination. Then boom, it all swept in for Joe Biden. And so, how do I know? What's my guess now about who's going to win the presidency? There, I have no doubt, which hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me in the ass. However, no doubt, I believe wholeheartedly Donald J. Trump is going to win this election. The Democrats have so much kept shooting themselves in the foot with dumb shit over the past 3.5 years, that I don't see any way that this man can lose the election. You have Joe Biden, who selects probably one of the worst people to become his VP candidate, Kamala Harris, which everyone has been fucking getting on people's nuts about how to pronounce her name correctly, right? She's not even. I mean, like, you could say she's technically African American, but I mean, like in what sense? Like, her father is from Jamaica, right? And her mother is from India, or was from India. And so when it came to, the first Indian American woman to be put as the Attorney General of California, and then it switches off first African American woman or whatever in the Senate, or fifth. No, it's not. She wasn't even the first African American woman in the Senate, but she uses that race card to her benefit. Like, first Indian American, Black American, right? So I mean, there was claims that even like her ancestors were slave owners in the Caribbean, long time ago, and but she's not a descendant of American slaves, right? So where is that connection of hers? Where she's like I said before, she's the worst pick for VP. After that happened, after they said, we have to, Joe Biden's campaign said we have to put a woman of color in that VP slot, in that VP selection. But pick the worst fucking one out there. The one responsible for refusing to see evidence that can exonerate innocent incarcerated people in California. Refuse! Straight out, this has been known, right? Responsible for putting so many people of color, African American men, in the prison, using them as free labor or cheap labor for the state of California. Great. And you see one of the collages on my page that we have found and made a meme out of all the black men that she had helped incarcerate in California. Not only that, but she definitely butt-fucked the state of California and their budget and the Justice Department of that state while I was living there. And so her rap sheet is pretty shitty, right? There's obviously the knowledge of her had been Willie Brown's sidearm side thing while he was married, and that's how she got. Anyway, we all know this shit, but I knew that the moment that she was selected, the Joe Biden campaign fucking dead, done, boom. There's no way. As a matter of fact, I kind of have this partial belief that Donald Trump is not only going to win the electoral votes, but is going to win the popular vote this time. I think, and I have this belief that Americans are tired of this censorship bullshit, of this fear-mongering, of this, we're all going to fucking die by COVID bullshit. We are tired, collectively. And I think that there's a lot of people on the left that are jumping ship, because here's the thing about the Democratic Party today that is different from the Democratic Party from 10 years ago, all right, is that these leftists, they want you to be 100% on their side. You have to believe and agree with all the things on their progressive list of bullshit, all right? And you have to comply. If one of those things you don't agree with, and you happen to be a little bit more middle-leaning, or even try to lean a little bit away from the left, you are ousted like the leper, thrown out, cast out from the Democratic Party, and that you're looked as a fucking apologist for Republican apologists, even if you slightly derive away from one little thing that they believe in, packing the courts, fucking third trimester abortions, all the other shit that we've talked about previously, all the crazy shit. This has really exposed the dumbassness of the Democratic Party. The whole Russian collusion, the Steele dossier, that's been shown and proven by the FBI, by all these investigations, that the Steele dossier was the real Russian disinformation, that this was, put in to stir the shit pot, and even shown that Hillary Clinton in 2016 during the election had fabricated the entire Russian collusion story prior to the election because to get the heat of her and her emails, off of her and get the attention onto Donald Trump. That has been shown to be true. So we know that they look like a dumbass with the whole Russian collusion thing, the Mueller investigation. What else? Yeah, and the bullshit, and the bullshit impeachment. That all we wasted so many months. All of this time, the entire time, from the moment that Donald J. Trump was elected president, the Democrats have been doing everything that they can to try to reverse it. And then what is this? The 23rd, 25th Amendment thing that came up by Nancy Pelosi, right? Let me make sure. So the removal of the president of the United States. Okay, that was brought up by Nancy Pelosi. Was that aimed towards Donald Trump, or was that going to be aimed at potential Joe Biden? It just seems funny that so soon to the election, so close to it, that she comes up with this 25th Amendment bullshit and wants to create a committee that can that unbiasedly determines the health and welfare and mental capacity of the president for possible removal of office. Again, they're plotting. I've never said that. I mean, the Democrat Party can do a lot of dumb shit, but they're just not packed by 100% dumb people. There are some smart, conniving, probably people behind closed doors that are pulling the strings and trying to do some real shady shit all the time. But again, we've been going through this bullshit for a long time now, and hey, we're going to have 4 more years, in my opinion, of Donald Trump in office, and we'll see what more bullshit the Democrat Party will kind of try to pull up. Are they going to try to remove him again? What do you guys think? Do you think Joe Biden's actually going to win this? Which brings me up to a good point here, is that these polls. All right, I listened to like Ben Shapiro and some of his stuff that I disagree with, because I know and I get that impression that Ben Shapiro does not like Donald Trump at all. I mean, he's said many times he doesn't like the way that Donald Trump's personal life is, or personal lifestyle, whatever. And he didn't vote for him in 2016, but now he's going to vote for him now. And he says, the national polls are very serious because Joe Biden's ahead by 14 points in some polls. Look, it was the same shit back in 2016. I believe it's the same shit now. Look, I don't know anyone that has received a phone call or received any kind of polling questions on who they're going. I've never given, my information, or never received any kind of contact from a national poll about who am I going to vote for. Never, ever, ever. Nor do I know anyone. So who the fuck is getting these calls? Who is getting these emails? Who's providing this information? Are they saying they're going? I mean, I believe there's so many flaws to national polls, and I just think that it's not out of the realm of possibilities that it's kind of misconstrued on purpose to give that perception of that Joe Biden is really good and in there strong and really going to win this. I doubt it. I don't have any belief that the Democrats are going to. What does worry me, though, is that through trends in the United States, our Congress does happen to swing left, right, every 8 years or so. So, does that mean that the Republicans are going to lose the Senate? That is a good possibility. I really don't know what kind of senatorial races are going on across the country. I know there's been a lot of concerns about it in certain states like Iowa. But are the Democrats really going to win the majority in Congress? Now, if that does happen, definitely nothing's going to get fucking done. But like I was saying before, the Democrats have wasted so much fucking time on this bullshit that they can't even get anything done. No legislation that really helps the people out. Like when Dianne Feinstein had hugged Senator Graham, and during the whole hearings of Amy Coney Barrett, she was like, oh my God, why does she do that? You can't meet anyone in the middle. As the Republican, they're the enemy. Blah 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 blah. There is no give or take. It's either yes or no. Ironically, it's anyway. So that's what the left is. If you don't go with them 100%, then you're not in at all. Anyway, so it's been great. Awesome to be back. Great first video back. I'm settled in, new. I hope everyone out there is doing fine with their families, with their health. Hey, this COVID-19 stuff is probably going to end November 4th. Joke, maybe. But it is a real thing. So, take your health serious. What they're not wanting to tell you, they want to tell you to lock down, hunker down, don't go out, wear a mask. But hey, you know what? Eat healthy, exercise. I know, coming from the fat guy himself. But however, seriously though, if you're sick, quarantine yourself. Try not to get other people sick. But as information comes out daily, and weekly, monthly, it's not as serious as we all thought it was going to be back in March. Death rates are very, very low. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a doctor and an epidemiologist, as science has somewhat become the new religion of the left. But hey, stay safe out there, and thank you guys for coming back, watching the show. I'm glad to be back and we'll be putting out more of these. Now, like I said, now I'm settled in, everything's kind of going a lot better. We had a hectic few months. School, I'm able to get my son back to school, so that's great. I'm back. And, hey, follow me on Facebook, okay, at the Sweet Lou Special. You can find me on Instagram, too, Sweet Lou Special. I got, like, a handful of Twitter followers. I'm not on there much, but Sweet Lou 8, you can find me on there. And YouTube, the Sweet Lou Special. Everything's going to be on there. You can catch me on the podcasts, on Spotify and on iTunes. And again, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for bearing with me. And God bless.